You tuned in to Just Vibe with Melody. Recently, I did a story on people here in Ghana charging in US dollars. I just so happened to go on the internet because we were browsing for a place here in Accra. So I thought, let me go on the internet and see what I could find. And I was astonished to find that there were so many people charging in US dollars. Land for sale, as well as rentals and houses for sale, were being charged in US dollars. You can't go to the US and charge in CDs. So why are we here in Ghana charging in the US dollars? Recently, I came across an article stating that the Bank of Ghana has issued an official notice warning anyone in Ghana should not be charging in US dollars. And this article has backed my exact words. Let's get into this discussion. This article is from a very reliable source. For all of those that want to be in the comments, I see that now I have to bring my sources and make them public. This comes directly from Ghana Web, which you can even Google yourself, ghanaweb.com. And the article states, the Bank of Ghana stated that it is unlawful for real estate companies to charge in dollars. Head of Financial Stability at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Joseph France, said, once you dollarize your economy, it means you are weakening your cedi, and if you are weakening your cedi, then you are making everything expensive for your citizenry. Head of Financial Stability at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Joseph France, has stated that no real estate has been licensed by the central bank to charge in dollars. Hence, any institution doing so is operating on illegal grounds. Speaking in an interview on Joy News, he said, I don't know of real estate institutions that have been authorized. So if a real estate institution is dealing in Forex, then that real estate is dealing illegally in Forex and must be reported to the law enforcement agencies. Dr. France stated that pricing items in dollars weakens the cedi and causes depreciation, a phenomenon that is unhealthy for the economy. Once you dollarize your economy, it means you are weakening your cedi. And if you are weakening your cedi, then you are making everything expensive for your citizenry. An earlier statement from the Bank of Ghana stated that no Ghanaian business should price their goods and services in foreign currency. Ghana's Foreign Exchange Act 2006 prohibits companies and individuals from engaging in foreign exchange business without authorization from the central bank. The act does not allow the pricing and advertisement of goods and services in foreign currencies. The Ghana cedi is, however, considered the only legal tender in the country. Can I say that again? The only legal tender in the country. Hence, people found floating the law will be dealt with accordingly. Thank you so much for this article. When I created this TikTok speaking about the US dollar being charged in Ghana, I got so much support. So many people were coming under the comments saying that they have been very vocal and speaking out about this very issue for so long and was basically told to shut up. And I also had a lot of people in my comments, and I got a lot of heat for making that video, accusing me of just everything under the sun. But y'all already know how I am. I could care less about the naysayers. Now, before stumbling upon this article, it just made sense to me that the US dollar should not be getting charged here in Ghana. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that if you're using a currency that is outside of your country's currency to do your exchanges, what is going to happen to your very own currency? And if you are not respecting your own currency in your country, guess what? Nobody else is. And ultimately, the currency in your country is going to suffer. So a lot of people came to the defense that the US dollar was being charged here in Ghana because they were spending US dollars to build their homes. Well, guess what? That is your own fault because this is Ghana. So if this is Ghana, why are you using a US dollar rate to purchase your products? Why are you shipping products from another country here to Ghana to build your home? And that's your prerogative. If you decide that you want to use products outside of Ghana to build your house, that is not the issue of Ghana. nor is it the issue of people who are coming here to purchase houses in Ghana. So if you're taking it upon yourself to step outside of Ghana and have your building materials shipped here, then you need to be absorbing that fee. You cannot take it upon yourself to have items shipped from another country here to Ghana and then say, oh, because I had my building material shipped here and I use those materials to build, which costs me more, then that means I have to charge in US dollars. That's not how that works. If it's not going to be conducive to the building of Ghana, then you shouldn't be doing it. That is like you're deciding that you want to go into business, right? Say you want to sell some lollipops and you're buying these lollipops and you realize that the lollipops is, let's say, $200 a bag. So you decide, okay, you know what? I'm going to buy these lollipops and I'm going to sell these lollipops for $10 per pop because I need to make my money back. Who is spending $10 on a lollipop because you decided you wanted to go for the most expensive bag of lollipops, which is $200? Nobody's buying that. Likewise, if you're coming here to Ghana to build, it makes sense to use materials that is going to be cost effective, yet durable, which does exist here. You don't necessarily have to import your materials from another country just to say that they're durable. Ghana has variations of building material that is good quality. You don't have to source your materials from outside of Ghana for the sake of building a durable house. There are houses that have been built right here in Ghana that have been around for thousands of years. So that speaks of the integrity of the building materials that exist here in Ghana. And who's to say that these people are even purchasing these materials from outside of Ghana? To me, it's just all a pot and a plan to be able to charge in US dollars so that you can get the ultimate bang for your buck. A lot of people want to spend less and gain more, which this is natural in business, right? You want to spend the less amount and make the most profit. That's just business. But to beat somebody over their head trying to charge in US dollars is not the way to go. And I don't even know who's out here supporting this because I am never, okay, never, ever, 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 ever going to purchase a home in US dollars. I am never going to rent a house here in Ghana in US dollars. I am never going to purchase land here in Ghana using US dollars. So I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Whoever is even contributing to this crime that is happening, because it is a crime, it's against the law, and I see it all the time. Being that this law exists, I want to know what are we doing about it because I don't see it being enforced. Because if it was being enforced, there still would not be so many people running around to this day. Like yesterday, I just literally seen still houses up for sale or rent, land as well, being charged in US dollars. Even to call around. Don't even take my word for it. If you're in Ghana, investigate on your own. Pick up the phone and call around some properties and ask how much. You will be surprised to find that many people will quote you in US dollars for the rent or sale of their property. Especially if they hear you have an accent. Oh, it automatically changes from cedi to dollar. Is it right? No. But this is an issue that is occurring here in Ghana that needs to be dealt with because it is not helpful to our cedi. In fact, it is making it more and more difficult for the citizens that are residing here depending on the cedi. It's not fortunate that everybody is able to travel and gain finances from other currencies. There are a lot of citizens and people that are here relying on the cedi, working in the cedi, purchasing in the cedi on a day-to-day basis. They don't have that luxury to be able to work in other currencies. So ultimately, you're making prices of things higher for them, and it's ultimately making a more difficult life for those that are actually here in Ghana trying to help the cedi rise by supporting the local currency, whether it be in work or business. And if Ghana is not careful enough, others out here charging in US dollars can ultimately crash the cedi. With that being said, if you are planning to come to Ghana and you are planning to purchase land, a house, rent a house, any of the above, then you should be paying in cedis only. Now, it's a different matter if you feel that the price of the cedi is not worth the purchase or the rental. That is kind of like your own judgment and what your pockets can afford. So if you come here, for example, and you see a house being priced at, say, 20,000 cedis a month, I mean, it's expensive, but it at the same time is being charged in a CD. So that is all going to come down to whether you can afford that or not. And that is a different topic of conversation. That is more along the lines of affordable housing. So here in Ghana, you have some housing that's affordable and you have housing that's not affordable. And if you're coming to Accra, it's difficult to find affordable housing. Accra is very expensive. A lot of people think that because you're in Ghana, oh, it's a third world country, I'm coming here to spend $2. Not so. I would say that Ghana is just, if not more expensive, as the United States of America. You can't no longer come to Ghana and have $100 and think that you're going to get the world. It's not happening. Ghana is very expensive. The food is expensive, and depending on where you're living, that can be as equally expensive. I see many people with this attitude, like, oh, I can come to Ghana and really live. The amount of money I have can take me. Or, they may be sending money and thinking that because they're sending you $100 that it's the world. Or thinking because they're sending you $20 that it's the world. Those days are long gone. No longer can you take $20 here in Ghana and survive. Even $100, you're not surviving in Ghana off $100. But that's another topic of conversation that I think is worth having, because we need to know what are the living adjustments here in Ghana. That's a conversation that we need to dive into. But the cost of things in Ghana are really expensive. And it probably does have a lot to do with the fact that so many people are charging in US dollars when it comes to real estate. I haven't really seen too many business establishments charging in dollar. Actually, I haven't seen any. There's never been an instance, thankfully, that I've ever gone into a restaurant or went into a store to purchase basic necessities for the house and found that they were charging in US dollars. So that's a great thing. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, business establishments in Ghana, because you're doing amazing with that. Keep charging in a CD as you should be. But when it comes to real estate, it's a whole issue that needs to be tackled. And I don't know if there's anything in the working to kind of crack down on this US dollar being charged in Ghana, but I hope that it is being looked into, and I hope that it is being taken as serious as it is, because it is a very serious issue that needs to be addressed almost immediately. If we get to a point here in Ghana where things are becoming so expensive and no one can afford to be here, what is going to happen to the CD? What is that doing for the CD? This is a focus that needs to be a focus. It's not a topic that needs to be swept under the rug. Like I had so many people coming in the comments saying, oh, go back to Africa, go find another African country to go reside to. How is that helping people in Ghana? How is that helping citizens? And ultimately, how is that helping the economy? So people with this mindset can continue on in their ignorance, but longevity, they will see that it will ultimately start affecting them, and if not them directly, for sure in their generations to come. When I speak out about these very important topics, it's to draw attention to the matter so that there can be change made. And guess what? Change cannot first begin where a voice has not first raised concern. That's like you're driving in the dark with your headlights off and expecting people to see you. How is anyone going to ever see you unless you first turn on your headlights? So let's just all make this make sense. We will get a lot further in life and for sure begin to build a stronger, more efficient Ghana if we will all come together with like minds and focus on bringing positive change to situations. I'm not saying that Ghana is all bad, but it has its moments. And in order to build a very stable, solid economy, you first have to have very difficult conversations that you may not necessarily want to have. But it's very necessary and it's very important to have these conversations if you want to see some form of stability within your country and within your currency. With this being a pressing issue, you also see a lot of students getting out of school and wanting to leave Ghana because the cost of things are so expensive here. And on top of that, there being no job in their specified area of study. So all of this plays a part and ties in together. Yes, it seems like very separate and isolated situations, but I promise you it's not, because they all come full circle and intertwine together to make an economy. So you can't separate situations and say, oh, well, the cost of living is over here and the US dollar being charged in Ghana is over here and not being able to find any work is over here. They're all, at the end of the day, one situation that must be addressed, yes, separately, but at the same time, collectively. Drop a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. That is it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time here on the channel, let me take this opportunity to say welcome. And please be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. We also now have a store right here on YouTube, Sacred Minerals, or you can visit sacredminerals.org where we have a full selection of all of our products. I will see y'all on the next video.